In the past weeks, I've watched multiple YouTube videos from various dropshipping gurus and they all did the same thing. Trying to get your attention in the first 30 seconds by telling you that they have made millions of dollars, bought their supercars and retired their moms and dads. And I get it, this is what the mainstream youth wants to see. However, in the end, it doesn't motivate people. It eventually will only frustrate people. You're probably asking yourself, why is this guy so filthy rich and I am having trouble with getting by for only 1 month? Or I have tried literally everything these gurus told me, but nothing worked in my favor. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why this happens, why it seems you're the only one that can become successful and how to turn this around. But let me start with giving you a sneak peek into my life as being an entrepreneur for over 6 years and having 2 sons and a wife to take care of. My purpose in life is not to buy my dream car, pay off my parents' mortgage, or move to Dubai. My purpose is to retire sooner than the designated age, to enjoy life while I'm still healthy, and to kickstart the adult life of my 2 boys. I'm not sure what our future beholds, but as long as I can help them in leaving their footprints in this world, I will be there and I want to be able to do so. I started my business because I'm a stubborn person. I've worked with the same motivation and dedication for employers. I even drove 4 hours a day, 5 days a week to the office and was always the first in and the last out. Eventually, I always got annoyed that I couldn't call the shots. I began to learn that it is simply in my DNA to work my ass off while running my own business. When I finally decided to take the leap, I was 27 years old. Now, you might say,
whoa, that's old to start a business.
Because it seems that all gurus are still in their early 20s. However, you do realize that starting a business in the early years wasn't that normal? When I started Wusa in 2017, dropshipping was a new and upcoming business model. Before that, I had never heard of it. One of our biggest European dropshipping suppliers, Vida Excel, was just launching their dropshipping business model back then. So my point is, starting a business is not for everyone. It's never too late to start a business. Now, back to you. Why does every attempt to build a successful business seem to fail? Because you're doing it wrong. Yes, you are following the steps of so-called gurus, steps that thousands of others are following. Some got lucky and built a successful business, but 99% failed. Now we know that a high percentage of people that tries doesn't actually try. They get demotivated fast, distracted by circumstances, and above all, don't have the mindset to succeed. But let's say you weren't that person. On the contrary, you've locked yourself up in your room for 30 days straight and only took a break to eat, piss and sleep and followed every step, applied every detail and invested every dollar available on your bank account. And yet, you still failed. I've already given you a hint on what went wrong. Did you notice? The reason why you failed is because you're doing the exact same thing as thousands of others following these gurus. You're selling the same kind of products, coming from the exact same Chinese suppliers, you're building the same kind of web shop, or even worse, copying the design of a web shop like Amazon, and you're having the exact same unique selling points. Free shipping, free returns, blah 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 blah. And you know what's even worse? Your marketing strategy is exactly the same as everyone else. You all act the same and you're swimming in the exact same pond, fishing for the exact same fish. And as if that wasn't enough, within a couple of weeks, or in some cases months, you're running out of money, which means you will quit because you haven't made any profit. So, explain to me why some people have the ability to sell sand to a company in the desert or ice to a company on the North Pole, while you are having trouble setting up a business in the first place. It all seems unfair, doesn't it? Well, I'm your wake-up call today. It's not unfair, you're just making poor decisions. Luckily, you can turn this around by following 4 simple rules. 1. Solve a problem. 2. Be authentic. 3. Focus on quality. And 4. Validate before accelerate. So, the first thing you should focus on is having a product where you actually solve a problem. We tend to sell winning products only with high margins, high profit. However, that doesn't particularly mean that people need that particular product. So what you want to sell instead is a solution to a problem, which will be way easier to sell instead of just a trendy product, which might be a nice gadget to have. So the first thing you should do is solve a problem, and your product is the solution. Now, how to identify a problem? That's really easy. I've recorded a video about this in the past. I will also put it here above. You should use ChatGPT. And what you can ask basically to ChatGPT is, what is the biggest issue for dads that work from home and have an office job and have a lot of meetings? ChatGPT will give you a couple of problems that they're having, and then you can basically start a conversation with it to find an actual solution, which can be either a service or a product. And I, of course, prefer a product. Now, the second thing you should be is authentic. And authentic means basically you're unique, you're one of a kind, and you're doing things differently compared to your competitors. And that can be easy things. Most people tend to be the cheapest, which is not really authentic. It's just starting a price war with your competitors. Instead, what you can do better is maybe have like awesome customer service or give a free gift away to each order you're selling. So be authentic, and for that, be unique. Don't just copy your competitor. And I think the biggest example, great example of this is Gymshark. If you watch Ben Francis talk about his business and about his character, he says he's the most stubborn person and the most hardest person to work with because he always does what he wants to do. If we look at most of the successful companies like Apple, Steve Jobs, for example, those people are exactly the same. They're stubborn, they're creative, and they just force their opinion into the business and be authentic. Then the third one is focus on quality. I briefly said it before this. People tend to start a price war and be the cheapest. However, cheapest is not always better, and people are willing to pay for a solution that solves their problem that also has high quality. So instead of focusing on being the cheapest, focus on delivering quality. On product level, maybe you will earn less margin, but people will come back to you and your relationship with the customer will be longer, which make your marketing costs lower, and also it makes your job basically way easier. Because if you have a lot of happy people in customer service compared to a lot of people that are complaining, of course, happy people are more nice to serve. And then we have the fourth one, and I think this is the most important one: validate before accelerate. And what I mean with that, a lot of people build their web shop with a random product and then start advertising right away, spend all their budget on it, then run out of money, have no budget left, and then they need to quit. If you validate a product before advertising, before accelerating basically, and you get customers on board without advertising, then you know that you have like golden hands. So try to validate the product, try to get sales without advertising. And you can use organic marketing strategies for that. For example, you can use SEO, you can use communities, you can use forums like Quora or Reddit or maybe Facebook groups. So there are a lot of organic ways to gain visitors to your stores and to actually make some sales and make some bucks and to retrieve feedback from them on your product. Once everything is positive, you can decide to accelerate. And you accelerate by starting ad campaigns on Meta, Pinterest, TikTok, Google, whatever you like. If you focus on these 4 pillars, you will build an actual business without following your competitors and without copying people that already have like authority in the market. Be your own unique person, be your own unique business, and focus on quality. Key lesson out of this video: don't follow everything blindly you see on the World Wide Web, and keep using your own brain and creativity to achieve higher goals. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you in the next video.